Hello. So in this video, we'll try to understand the concept of operator overloading in C++, which is a form of compile time polymorphism concept. And in order to understand operator overloading, I have written some basic code already. So in the first line, I am including the IOStream header file, and I've created a class called as tutorial, which has a private variable. And then in the public access region, I have two functions, set and print. So set will accept an integer argument and assign that value to the variable, and print will print the value that the variable holds. So now I will go ahead and create two objects of the tutorial class. So object one, and I'll create another object, object two. So now using this particular first object, I will invoke the set function, and I will pass the value 5, and I will also use the object 2, invoke the set function, and say pass the value 3. Um, so now, essentially what has happened is I have passed value 5 to the set function. So the variable of the object 1 has the value 5, and the variable of the object 2 has the value 3. Now, I will go ahead and create the object 3, and what I need is the object 3 to be the addition of object 1 and object 2. So what I'll do is I will add object 1 and object 2, and that should be assigned to object 3. Now, this is going to result in an error, as you notice over here. So if I hover over that, it says no operator plus matches these operands. We are trying to add two objects in this particular line, which the plus operator is not meant for. So this is one of the scenarios where we will have to overload the plus operator in order to be able to add the two objects and then assign that object to object 3. So how we can achieve this is I'll go back to the tutorial class, and I will write the logic in order to overload the plus operator. So the logic is something in this way. So I will use the operator plus, and then it shall receive the object as the argument. So tutorial and then the object. So this particular function over here, upon completing its operation, it has to return back another object. So I will specify the return type also. The newly created object will be returned out of this. So I will firstly create the new object that we will be returning. And now for this new object, it has a private variable. So I have to access that variable and basically add the value of the two variables of the previously existing objects, that is object 1 and object 2, and assign it to this new variable. So um, how I could achieve that is invoke the variable of the first object, and then use the argument object and invoke the variable. So now that the addition is complete, all I have to do is return this new object back. So this ensures that I create a new object, and for the variable member of that object, I am adding the variable of the object 1 and the variable of the object 2, and assigning it to the new object's variable, and now returning the new object. So now if you check here, there is no longer the error, because I have overloaded the plus operator over here in order to perform this addition of the two objects, and whatever is returned is now assigned to object 3. And now I can go ahead and print the object 3's variable value, or I could rather invoke the print um, function in order to find what is the value that the variable of the object 3 holds. So this will not be essential in this case. So let me get rid of that. All right, so here's the logic. And in case you are wondering, did I access the object one over here, because I'm using the this pointer here and accessing the variable. So you have to understand that when we write object one plus object two, it's internally considered to be object one dot operator plus of object two. So it's nothing but the object one has the operator plus defined, and to which we are passing object 2. And you might be aware that every member function of an object consists of a pointer called this pointer, which will point to the object itself. So that's how I am accessing the object one's variable's value over here using the this pointer. And just to prove that our understanding is correct, what I'll also do is print this variable over here, so that we know that our understanding is right. All right, so I will go ahead now and compile this code. Okay, and now let me execute it. All right, so I think we have two outputs over here. So just to differentiate and know that we are looking at the right output, what I'll do is this pointer variable, and then I will print the content here, just to differentiate. And I will also add, I think in the print function, I could add value of variable. Uh, yeah, okay, I could compile once again and execute it. So now it's very clear to us, the output. And if you notice, the first line says this pointer variable of 5. So if you notice in line 32, for the object 1, I had assigned the value of 5 here using the set function, which ultimately assigns the value to the variable of that particular object. And object 1 is what is passed here, which I mentioned was nothing but uh, internally it is processed in this way. So the this of variable is nothing but it's pointing to the object one, and that's proved with this particular output over here. And then interestingly, in the line 35, if you notice, when you invoke the print function using the object 3, which obtained its content with after adding object 1 and object 2. So 5 plus 3 gets assigned a value of 8, and that object is now assigned object 3, and that's how we invoked the print function. And in the print function, when we print the value of variable, it is 8, because it is nothing but the object 1's variable contains the value 5 and object 2's variable contains the value 3, and they both are added as per our logic here in this operator overloading, and that's assigned to the new object, and we return it, and that's how the value is 8. So let's change these values and validate our understanding again. So now it's 4 plus 5, so the um, answer should be 9. So let's execute. And here it is. So we notice that the output is now 9. So this is the concept of operator overloading, where we always try to overload the functioning of a particular operator. Now, while this is possible, and I mean, plus is not the only operator you can overload. There are a lot of operators that you can overload and achieve the task. It's also important at the same time to understand that there are certain operators that cannot be overloaded. For example, the scope resolution operator, or the dot operator, or even the conditional operator, for example. So there are certain operators that we cannot overload. So it's very important to understand that yes, it's possible to overload a lot of operators in C++, but at the same time, there are certain operators which cannot be overloaded as well. For example, these, and there are some more operators too which cannot be overloaded. So I hope this concept of operator overloading is clear to you, and I hope this helps. Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you.